Now correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like you're looking for a versatile neutral color for an upcoming paint project, right? I mean, why else would you have stumbled upon this video? By the end of it, I'm sure you'll be glad you did, because have I got the color for you. I'm James from thepaintpeople.com, and this is Color Code, cracking the code on color selection. This is a segment of videos where we discuss paint colors in detail, their undertones, and how to best use them in your home or your customers. After getting some positive feedback about a previous episode of Color Code, I got the impression that you guys are fascinated by picking the perfect neutral color. Now, because neutral colors are labeled being safe, that doesn't make finding them any easier. Just like we discussed in the episode about classic gray, not all grays are created equal. This is even more so true in the broader scope of neutrals. You can have neutral off-whites, grays, beiges, and grays, which is a combination of those last two. And today's color code is just that, a grayish that's been growing in popularity and usage as of late, OC20, Pale Oak. As we all know, one color could be perfect for one room and clash in another. The beauty of a grayish like Pale Oak is its flexibility. Part of the reason that it's being recommended more and more is because it works with so many different color schemes. On the neutral scale, Pale Oak does lean a bit towards the warmer side of things. Your lighting will also have a huge impact on how much this warm undertone is accentuated. If you have more incandescent lighting with lower K values, Pale Oak will look even warmer. But if you've installed cooler LED lighting, then maybe not so much. In general, Pale Oak tends to appear pretty neutral on the wall, funny enough. Based on my experience using it, its warmth generally tends to give off a very slight peachy feel. So where are some of the best places to use it? It's a neutral, so the choice is yours for the most part. Pale Oak does a great job at blending into a space and hiding in plain sight. It has enough depth to it where it's noticeable on the walls, but it doesn't quite jump out at you. Classic gray is a bit more on the lighter side of things, so if you tend to get a lot of light, by going with a slightly deeper alternative in Pale Oak, your walls will pop a bit more. That peachy feel I mentioned before is subtle, so don't think Pale Oak is a light pink color fit for a baby's bedroom. I don't get full-on pinkiness when I've used it, although in certain cases, under very specific conditions, there are people that have mentioned it leaning that way. Assuming you've decided on Pale Oak for the walls, I've always been a fan of pairing it with the slightly warmer whites on the baseboards. It helps keep everything bright, vibrant, and optimistic. You can always go with your warm white staples and cloud white or simply white, but if I were using Pale Oak on the walls, my personal choice for trim would be OC121 Mountain Peak White. Instead of relying on a yellow warmth, Mountain Peak White complements and plays with that slight peachy charm of Pale Oak. Because of this, it helps both colors neutralize each other a bit as well. If the talk of peach and pink for your trim is making you feel a bit uncomfortable, then a safer color choice would be something like White Dove. It's a bit more dialed in towards the light grayish side of Pale Oak, so you'd be fine using that as well. If you like Pale Oak but you just wish it made a slightly bigger statement, you can also look at Balboa Mist as an alternative. It may not seem very different side by side, but the extra colorant inside takes Balboa Mist more so into the mid-tone category of colors. It's still a lighter color in the grand scheme of things, but its extra bit of depth allows it to stand out just a bit more than Pale Oak. What are some of the neutrals that you tend to favor? I'd love to hear about them in the comment section below. On this channel, we do 2 videos every single week. One color video, as well as a more technical one about how to paint, what equipment to use, and how to use it. In Paint School, we discuss the fundamentals of paint, so click here if you're interested in learning about finishes, paint grades, and so much more. See you on the next one.